Aurora Borealis. At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen.
Yes.
May I see it?
No. Welcome to a podcast capturing the antics of two geeks who talk about video game culture and influence, both old and new, all through chaotic banter and tangential tangents that make no sense. My name is Mask.
Yeah, PogChamp, without the racism and such.
This is my pal Red.
This man's a Super Saiyan.
And together we make the Reddmasq Podcast.
This is episode 25. Don't
Look,
curse it, because it can be cursed.
I was just clearing my throat.
Oh, okay. Let me clear my throat, too. We're celebrating basically 25 episodes of the Reddmasq Podcast by eating our audio equipment that is barely held together by tinsel and tinfoil at this point.
Devour it.
Yeah, it's like Red's headset's been on the fritz. We're talking about like figuring out a new mic situation. The side tone on mine is kind of iffy because like I have to talk a little louder because my headset has better noise isolation. So lo and behold, that affects your quality. So if you notice anything with the show, feel free to write us, chime us in at our email podcast@mask31.dev. As always. But yeah, we got 25 episodes here, which is pretty far in the life cycle of this. That's like half a year.
Yay!
Except it's a bleep year this year, so it's like not quite there.
It's a bleep year, as in fuck year.
Yeah. Also, tomorrow is Mother's Day. Call your mother.
If you guys are having a good relationship, of course.
Right, yeah. Family situations are always dicey, as we were kind of talking about before we started recording here earlier.
Bound family.
Like, distance is important, but also sometimes family just wants to push you in a way that's going to kind of encourage you to do good things. So, like, it really is going to depend heavily on your situation. Any family can be family. Chosen family is still valid family. And, yes.
I'm eating Pop-Tarts.
Do you... Oh, I can segue into the fucking, what is it, Steinfeld Pop-Tart movie for like 5 minutes if you want.
The what?
You didn't ask, but I can do it.
The what?
Okay. So, from the director of the Bee Movie, Jerry Seinfeld himself has put on another Netflix movie. This time about Pop-Tarts and Country Squares, if nobody remembers those, though they did not hit the market successfully.
Is Jerry Seinfeld still bitching about wokeness ruining comedy?
Probably, and he needs to shut the fuck up. You can segue into that for sure. I like the guy. I don't know about his political background, but he made a movie and like he's in Seinfeld, so fuck Kramer.
He dated a 17-year-old.
Fucking Kramer. I hate that guy.
No, that's not Kramer. Kramer's actor sucks because he just literally used the N-word with the hard R he's just a
horrible person.
Like, there's a whole fucking story with that's more than just the N-word, but like that was what everyone focused on. And it's like, no, he did just call a black person the N-word with a hard R as a joke. And it's like, as a quote-unquote joke. No, he was yelling at him during his stand-up set.
There is no way.
Anyways.
That is just an asshole.
Anyways, Jerry Seinfeld also dated a 17-year-old.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, no. It's fucked up. It's all fucked up. Celebrities are all fucked up. There's not a single one that's not fucked up. And if they exist, they are a unicorn.
And as we know, unicorns don't exist because they are mythical creatures and startups that always fail.
Yes. Anyways.
But anyway,
Pop-Tarts.
Netflix movie. He directed a Netflix movie called Unfrosted, and he basically made himself Willy Wonka. Like, I could probably go on about the movie from there, and I will, but that's like the basic, like, TLDR of the movie. It's basically Willy Wonka's cereal factory. But you have two cereal factories. You have Post and Kellogg's competing, quote unquote. You have characters in costume. You have whimsical plots. You have, like, this whole thing about kids digging through dumpsters to get a delicious goop. It's a very dumb movie, a very dumb watch. I only got through 30 minutes of it. My favorite part was that they actually used footage from, like, 1962, so it is era accurate. So they did the space race, and Melissa McCarthy was in it, and she was really funny. She's always funny. And I don't know
Don't you
anything
mean
about
your
her that might be
flavor it?
good, bad, or ugly, so I'm not going to say anything. Tammy was a funny movie. So they showed footage of, like, the rocket launches back then, and, like, all I could think of was how fucking terrible of a company Tesla is for still getting these wrong. Like, they showed the footage of the rocket going sideways. I thought that was shot for this movie in the style of, like, Airplane or something. No, that was actual B-roll footage from NASA in 1962, because, as we all know, they landed on the moon in 69, so, yeah, that's
It
why
took
everyone
a,
got TVs and stuff. There was a whole thing about that. I'm not going on this rant. I'm not going down this hole. That was the funniest part of the movie. Wasn't even part of the movie. So, that says a
amazing.
lot about it. I give it a 5 out of 10 because I could not finish it.
So you mean to tell me that Jerry Seinfeld rants about wokeness ruining comedy because he's actually just really bad at comedy these days?
That's about right.
Yeah, I think that was something that Jon Stewart from The Daily Show, or who he was originally from The Daily Show, he literally like made fun of people blaming wokeness for ruining comedy. And he basically was just like, mad cuz bad, skill issue, get good. What do you mean you can't make comedy because of woke culture? You're just bad at it.
Hats off to that.
If you're bitching about wokeness ruining comedy, you're bad at comedy. Straight up.
Jon Stewart is also not a stranger to controversy, I bet, but, like, good on his writing team. Good on his team for having him take that stance.
No, he said that shit in an interview.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, like that was literally just him going off the cuff and being like,
it's not the Stephen Colbert situation. Okay.
him literally just being like you all are just bad at comedy. I hate to well, no, he doesn't hate to say it because they're all assholes.
It's like I always say, it's not hard to be a nice person. But damn if there aren't as many nice people as there should be nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. But anyway, we didn't expect that turn.
Obviously, you can also make Holocaust jokes that are pretty funny and in good taste, because the Knuckles show did that.
And Knuckles and Knuckles and Knuckles. I mean, we did our whole retrospective on that, 2 parts to it. Hopefully you check that out, and other folks on YouTube are definitely doing that.
Shoutouts to Some Call Me Johnny also reacting to the Holocaust joke.
We gotta do, like, reaction to, like, Brain Scratch comms at some point still for the YouTube channel. We could probably change up the formula at some point if you want to. Start playing.
Why would we react to other Let's Play channels, of course?
Exactly, yeah. Why not?
I mean,
it's infinite content.
It's fun is infinite. Oh god, I don't know if I would. I feel like reacting to other Let's Play commentaries would just be a bad idea, just because it's just too much. Like the whole reason I said to do that for April Fools is because it's not very good content. God damn it!
Oh, you didn't actually do that. Gullible is written on the ceiling, and I was reading it.
I was literally talking. Oh my god, I'm going to body slam you the next time we meet.
Looking forward to it. There's a bunch of stuff I could talk about with my off time from school once again. Guess what I did, just like Christmas? Lots of reading. Not your traditional forms of reading, though. We had a free comic book day that was happening last week, so I actually did not get a chance to check out one of these stores that was on the list there. So I'm like, hey, why don't I just go down to this little strip mall that I've never heard of and take a look at it. It turns out it's basically an antique shop on the inside. They have, like, multiple different stores with multiple different vendors. Some are selling retro games. One of them is actually a store I used to go to when I was younger. Still at it, and I never knew. They had, like, old Game Boy games. They had an NES on display. They had a Game Boy Micro that I'm still tempted to get. It's like $200, and I could probably make the deal a little bit easier if he really wants to get rid of it. But they had comic books. And in this space for that, they also had one particular comic that does tell me that Darkstalkers are, in fact, not dead. They had a Jeddah comic. Like, Udon is actually still at it. They've been at it for a long time, but they're still going. They have a series coming up in October called Team Darkstalkers to follow up this Jeddah series, which is also a follow-up of something else they did. There's a continuity here. I'm not been on board with it. I read the comic. It's like... I'm just using cross zone 2 logic here. It's like my headcanon, and it still works because Chun-Li knows like about the Makai or whatever of the underworld, which is wherever all of the Darkstalkers characters are from. So
That's
fuck
amazing.
it works.
Ultimate crossovers forever.
Yeah. So you basically just have this where Street Fighter exists in this universe, but no, the free comic book day version of that was not in fact Darkstalkers. It was Street Fighter Cross Final Fight. That got me thinking, because I actually saw 2 years ago at another comic book store, and I completely forgot about this. There was a Street Fighter Cross G.I. Joe, and that's a pairing you never thought you'd hear. It's basically just like Commandos, and yeah, they bring out Cammy and Guile and a bunch of other stuff, but like, what are the other weird Street Fighter crossovers that they've done that they never really kind of went public on, besides like Udon and IDW stuff? Turns out a lot. I had to look this up on like the local wiki for this. So we have Street Fighter Cross Final Fight, Street Fighter Cross Darkstalkers, which is that whole series.
Okay, what's up? Street Fighter Cross Final Fight is just Street Fighter at this point.
It kind of is, but it's still technically a crossover, sort of, kind of.
Mayor Cody, baby.
It's like canon in Street Fighter 6, but I mean, it's been canon for a longer time than that, for sure.
It's the same. It is the same fucking universe at this point.
It's barely a crossover, so.
It's barely a crossover because they're so intertwined.
Yeah. But we also had Street Fighter Cross Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles last year, which also got the skin in Street Fighter 6. You have Street Fighter Cross Kengan Asura, which is a fighting anime about like this whole arena sort of combat style. It's sort of like UFC, but in an anime style.
Right.
The characters on both sides are very animated. And then there's my favorite, which is Street Fighter's Akuma vs. Hell. Like, the comic name is funny in and of itself, but what's more interesting is that Akuma is actually going to drop in Street Fighter 6 in just a few months. And, like, while they had an alt in Street Fighter 5 that was really close to, like, his getup from, like, other lore with Akuma and stuff, it's actually, his current costume is really fucking close to what they ended up with Akuma Cross Hell here. So, it's really on point, basically, with how they're doing, like, the style of it, the hair, the whole look of it. The only thing is, like, he still doesn't have the Raging Demon with that symbol, but this was years and years prior to Street Fighter 6. And they went with this design, which is kind of cool.
I just thought of a goofy-ass crossover.
Yeah.
If Akuma's crossing over with Hell, where's Doom Guy?
He's busy racing with Sonic characters. Please leave a message after the beep.
What do you mean he's racing with Sonic characters?
He was an unlockable in Robo Blast.
God damn it. I should have known.
That was a deep cut. I'm sorry for hitting you that rough.
Hit me with the Ring Racers lore.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we should talk about that new update after whenever.
Not yet. I'm not done with my section here.
I'm okay with that. I just wanted to make sure we were getting to it.
We are. Sure. I have the wiki page open. I'm pretty sure I covered as much as I could with the comic section because I was on a kick with that this week.
Yeah, you got a lot of free comics.
I mean, Ryu has fought basically everyone and everything. Street Fighter WrestlePalooza #1. Here's the WWE crossover.
Does Scooby-Doo appear?
No, it's not. They just did, it's just Hagar and, Alex and, Birdie here. So I don't think they actually did a WWE crossover. They actually had some, like, cross cameos, but it wasn't a comic thing, which I am exclusively talking about, like, the comic universe for this.
Right.
For the crossovers
my deep cut joke was, you know who else the WWE crossed over with?
Who did they cross over with?
Scooby-Doo.
See, I can see that because both of those things are very 80s, even though Scooby-Doo is like 60s because it had the budget of a ham sandwich with the original cartoon. But
listen, it has John Cena saving the gang from a boulder while his theme plays.
That sounds metal as fuck. I'm not going to hate on it.
It's absolutely ridiculous. It's on the level of Chris punching a boulder.
Awesome.
Yeah.
No, I pretty much got them all here. This is like the Street Fighter crossovers with the comic universe that I've been able to cover here. If I'm wrong, please email me because I can't see anything else.
Email me at this web zone.
Yeah, really. No, you can actually watch Kengan Ashura on Netflix, fun fact. That's when this whole crossover was done, so like in 2019. So that's still out there if anyone's curious. And at the rate media is disappearing, I'd recommend it before it actually vanishes from thin air.
Before David Zaslav somehow gets his hands on it.
Forza Slav buys Netflix. CEO of Trainwreck. Oh wait, that's all of them.
That's all CEOs. He's just the easiest target right now.
We're going to come back to Street Fighter crossing over with one more IP here after we get through the next couple of segments, but we're going to some more Capcom stuff later. But we're going with, Sonic stuff. So, Mega Man crossed over with Sonic, but I actually didn't do any research on that, so I don't have any content for that, so womp womp.
I think the first series of that comic is better because that's what I remember people saying. Because the second series of the comic is like, it's full of just one panel references to other series. Like they show up and then they do something and then they're gone. While the previous series actually has them doing more things with like the total universe crossover.
So literally like the Dragon Ball Z Abridged series Vegeta, and I'm here too! So, I'm going to be ripping this episode because we basically had a whole section where I didn't read the Sonic Cross Mega Man Worlds Collide comic, which is apparently the good one. So, I did that. I speed read, mind you, pretty much the whole series because, one, it wasn't done by IDW, it was done by Archie. Two, there's shit in here that's actually for me, which is fun.
Amazing.
And by more for me, I mean, I read the Sonic Archie comics growing up, so I have a lot of, like, history and interest in that, but, like, I didn't expect it to take some of the turns that it did. And I need to kind of sit down and read through this whole thing, but there's a couple of really fun highlights I can put out there for this series. They have, basically the whole cast gets turned into robots. We have a Shadow Man, that's Shadow the Hedgehog Man, fighting also Shadow Man, the Robot Master. So that was definitely a thing. There's a lot of like character development in here, a lot of like the alternate cover arts for these comics end up showing off really cool stuff and styles. One's literally a callback to like Mega Man 9. They have this whole section where like Mega Man gets to understand like Sonic's pain with the whole Mobius issue and like the whole world and second world bullcrap that goes on. I don't have time to get into this or explain it, but like there's a whole thing about that.
Right.
Also, one of the alternate cover arts here actually has like Eggman and Dr. Wily playing a Sega Saturn console, I would presume here. It's just like the match goes to time.
Amazing.
It's like right on there, and the font there is I think like the Power Fighters or something. Red, look at this. I showed you.
Me. Oh yeah. The fucking the time over from like that's like the classic Capcom.
Yep, that's Capcom style for sure. There's a very heartfelt spoiler, and Sally Acorn is actually in this comic, just as a very minor cameo. It's kind of neat. Oh, and there's also Sonic getting like decked in the gut by Bass. I remember seeing that one on Twitter.
It's so wild to see Bass working with Wily again.
It really is, yeah.
Because like his whole shtick is that he fucking gives up on Wily to focus entirely on Mega Man.
And then like Dr. Light actually gets to fight. He gets a arm blaster just like his creations, and it's kind of neat. Kind of like an Avengers Endgame sort of situation there. This episode is brought to you by us. We work hard in making an exciting show each week, chaos included. Check out the links in the show notes for ways to help support the show. This includes our coffee page, which you can find at ko-fi.com/mask31. Did your bro ever do a remix of a Mega Man song?
What kind of fucking question is that?
I know, right?
I couldn't find what I was looking for, by the way. But, dude, my older brother, I remember on OC Remix, the site forums, he took part in like a Mega Man remix competition. where you choose your robot master, and then you're given a Wily stage or another robot master to go up against, and you're supposed to remix both songs.
Nice.
He chose Snake Man.
Snake Man is pretty based.
Yes. Well, this was before bass was introduced, so.
God dang it.
Yeah, I think it's like if I find it on Bandcamp, the album's called Snake Man versus the World.
Huh.
Which, let me find that, because that's like that one just has all the shit he threw together for that competition.
Very cool.
You might be able to hear what other track was used in the making of that song as well. But yeah. So yes, my older brother has remixed Mega Man music. Fuck you for asking. That's such a dumb question. Yes.
You're welcome.
Yes,
I thought you wanted to talk more about his music on the show.
I'm just saying, of course he's remixed Mega Man music. Like what? Like Jesus Christ! It's like, I don't know. I'm trying to think about how to properly explain how flabbergasted I am that you would deign ask about remixing the most well-known OST.
I am offended. I am Red 500, and you must know that my brother remixes every song under the earth. Granddad.
No, I'm just saying Mega Man is like one of the most
I say
fucking
that, but now I
well-known video
realize
game
that
OSTs.
he's doing music for Lythero too, so it kind of sort of does apply. So
Mega Man is the most well-known video game OST series and known to man.
Yes.
So
it is full of ballers. Why don't we talk about how we kind of pinned down our top 5 for Mega Man themes here? Yes.
We did not pin down our top 5. I refuse to pin down my top 5.
I pinned down my top 5. Well,
I refuse to because
here.
There's too many. The thing about Mega Man music is that there's so many bangers that not only is it a pain in the ass to have to find, it's almost impossible to figure out which ones are the best of the best, but also like a lot of the times what people consider the best of the best, I've heard so many times that it bores me now to listen to those tracks. Mm-hmm. Even though I know that they're absolute bangers. Like Mega Man 2 Wily Stage 1 is an absolute banger. I am tired of hearing it.
Everyone knows that song. Everyone has known that song for at least 30 years. It is the definitive Mega Man song.
And I'm just tired of hearing it. My ears can't take it.
It is background noise to you at this point because it's just been so present there.
Mm-hmm.
All of this started because I just played Mega Man 11 for like one night. And that game changes so much with the formula, but tries to keep everything just, like, pristine. It is trying to be what a good Mighty Number 9 would have been. However, the music, like, while it's, like, era accurate, sounds accurate, it's not 8-bit. The intro theme is baller, don't get me wrong. It's probably one of my top 3 intros for the series. But it's not, like, the best. But when it comes to music...
It's, like, a large part of why I was, like, so upset about having to pin down the top 5 is you were knocking some of my picks. It was like, fuck you.
I'm just saying that some of these songs are done better by, like, the same stuff here. Like,
no, they're not.
Pharaoh Man's song is actually, like, it was Pharaoh Man's stage, but it was done better in Ring Man's stage, the whole motif of it. Mega Man 4's music is kind of interesting because it's not samey, but it's not, like, super punchy. It has parts that are super punchy, like Cossack 2 or something. But it's not, like, super standout compared to the rest of the series. It's so hard to compare every Mega Man game to each other, audio-wise. Gameplay quality, you can definitely compare them all, but, like, audio, oh my god.
Good lord.
And you like Top Man's theme, and I think that 3's soundtrack is overall just not as good as many other people think. Like, I can understand it. It has a great intro theme, too. But, like, it is just not... It doesn't go as hard as 2 or 9 in my book here. It's up there, though. It's definitely up there.
Fuck you.
Yes.
This is why I fucking did not want to talk about this. It's because I'm just going to be like, you're out here dissing everything I've said, and I'm like, go fuck yourself.
I'd call it as it is. At least you like Flash in the Dark, and we both agree on one thing here. Darkman's theme is fucking baller.
Yeah.
And the remixes. Sakurai's remix, too.
Sakurai they're not Sakurai's remixes. He just put them in it. He got them to be made and put them in the game in Smash Brothers. Not his remixes, come on.
His compositions.
He's not the one making the music.
I mean,
That's what
he's
I'm
making the
saying.
recomposition.
He's hiring the people to make the compositions.
He's been. I don't know. I'm being an idiot. Apparently,
It's like
I'm already gaslighting myself here. Amazing.
I don't talk about the F-Zero medley as Sakurai's version.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about it as the guy from Daytona USA's version because he's the one who does it, and I can't remember his damn name to save my life. But he has an amazing voice. Hang on, I'm pulling up Daytona USA's composer so I can actually tell you.
Fantastic. While you're doing that, I can talk about how like Wily stages often have like great themes. Like you nailed it with like Mega Man 9's Flash in the Dark here. That is just a fucking baller opening. It's in the same vein as 2's.
Yeah. So really quickly, Daytona USA's OST was made by Takenobu. No shit, that's not how you say that name. Takenobu Mitsuyoshi. Okay. I got that out there. So, okay, I will say something about Wily stages though. There's two like versions of Wily stages in terms of like the pattern I see. One is like atmospheric and then it's like sounds really dark and foreboding, but it's not much of a banger. And then the other is just a straight up banger where you're just like it just kicks ass and you're just enjoying the time as you're getting your ass kicked.
Right. That's the interesting part about it. When I was going through 11, I noticed they actually only have one song for like most of the Wily stages. They combined the idea of just like taking one very like punchy track. You hear it in the intro chorus, but then it goes into like this one of the verses. It's just like also very foreboding and atmospheric, and it just goes back to that action-y kind of feel, and it's just like, you could probably have skipped that or made it a second song, and like, it would have fit even better, so, bit of a miss there, but it sounds fantastic for what it is. But yeah, I picked Abandoned Memory for my theme for that. And you picked Flash in the Dark from what it looks like, so 9 versus 10 here, some of the later entries, but still 8-bit.
But like I was listening to all the OSTs for all the different main Mega Man games, and it's just like every single one of them has like a Wily stage where I'm like, oh hell yeah, that's a great one. But and usually that's like it's just like one song, like one or two songs, because the others are usually foreboding and like just kind of atmospheric. Because like even like Mega Man 8 has like a Wily stage theme where I'm just like, oh hell yes.
We can both agree that the best intro stage goes to 7, though.
Well, Mega Man Classic barely has intro stages.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, that's an X thing for the most part here.
Yeah. You know what classic Mega Man game did intro stages first?
Which one?
Mega Man DOS.
Oh my god, that is cursed knowledge.
It's not even a good intro stage because it's literally just you running into a building as you get decked in the face by way too fast dog robots that are just constantly pouncing on you. It's very bad. Mega Man DOS is a bad game. There's no music. It's all bad.
I'm glad they figure out how to like get the NES sound chip to sound decent on the Genesis with the Wily Wars, though. Although nothing from that actually stands out, in my opinion. Or it's been way too long since I listened to the Wily Wars, so.
Most of the good tracks from the Wily Wars are usually from the stuff they made specifically for it. Because like all the covers of the original tracks, because it's the first 3 Mega Man games and then some unique stuff. Is just like it's got that poorly instrument replaced shit to it that just doesn't sound right in a lot of ways.
And one of the things did they actually add that to Legacy Collection?
I don't know.
I feel like I remember something here where like there's a mode in X Collection, I know for a fact. You can basically like choose 8 weapons and go against some bosses. I feel like they did that with Legacy Collection as well.
Yeah. But I don't think they did the Wily Wars stuff with it.
Yeah, the Wily Wars' gimmick itself is that you get to choose the weapons for Mega Man 1 through 3, and then just go through like the towers with Wily's 3 exclusive bosses with that. That was the gimmick that worked in and of itself. But, like, imagine having a Mega Man game with, like, 80 power-ups. And, like, 10 of those are the same shield.
They really don't have a lot of ideas for weapons.
Nah, they got the tried and tested and true ones, yeah. But in terms of
It's
music, that was a top 3, I would say. We never really got to a top 5. We couldn't even agree on it. That's the whole problem with this. I've been wanting to make a top 5 for this show for the longest time, and we can't even do that right, so.
You chose the worst possible topic.
I know! It's just difficult to pick good Mega Man music that's, like, better than the rest, because they're all amazing.
It's impossible to have, like, a clear-cut, like, we both agree this is number 1. We both agree this is number 2. It's going to be so wildly different because of what I listen for, obviously, because I keep getting my choices dissed by Mr. Asshole over here.
Hi, I'm Mr. Asshole over here.
I'm drinking some more Four Loko.
Enjoy. While you're doing that, I'm going to go back to Street Fighter here because there is one Mega Man game. Enjoy? Oh, yeah, because it's pain.
It's pain.
We hate each other live. Always.
It's liquid human suffering. Four Loko is garbage. I don't drink it so I can enjoy myself. I drink it because I want to get a little blasted.
The Bacardi Black I had last time doesn't do any favors. I guess I can tell a story about that where my dad, yes, he's a very upstanding guy. Love him to death. But he just comes in and is like, hey, I drank some of your stuff and oh boy, that tasted like gasoline. It's like, yeah, Dad, half this stuff is for mixers. You're welcome. We were almost off of Mega Man, but I'm going to keep us with the Mega Man because while I mentioned that there was a Sonic and Mega Man crossover, which was going to be the way I have no idea how we're going to make that work to get into Robo Blast Kart 2 again. Look, its official title in Japanese is also Robo Blast 2 Kart 2.
Robo Blast 2 Kart 2.
No, but like Mega Man and Street Fighter's crossover was a video game, and it's almost a forgotten video game at this point because it never got officially like put into any collection, it never got published, but it deserves to be remembered. And it's not that bad to play, but damn if it isn't hard. It got a second version that made things easier, but it's still a hard Mega Man game. This is a crossover game where you have Street Fighter characters, and it plays very well for what it's designed for. There's some neat gimmicks, like you go left in one stage for Dalsim. All of the moves are accurate to the characters, like you have Rolento's bomb throw and stuff, and you can actually do a slide and toss 3 bombs, kind of like his roll. There's Easter eggs to other Capcom properties. Rolento's cane also sounds like Scrooge McDuck's cane.
Amazing.
Just don't tell the designers.
I'm sure that was on purpose.
Probably why it wasn't actually put in an official game. Disney would sue.
Among other things.
It was actually put out during, like, the era for a lot of other really creative fighting games, like Flo's era, when he played I Want to Be the Guy for EVO. It was also shown to folks at EVO 2012, which is how it got Capcom's attention. And it's really cool. I would recommend folks pick it up, try playing it nowadays. Although the character choices are dated.
It's
because,
very
like,
specifically.
You have, like, Rolento, Rose, Urien.
It's very specifically Street Fighter 4.
Street Fighter 4, yeah. It has the themes and motifs from that and everything.
There's a cheat code to make it so Guile's theme is the only song that plays and it never stops.
Yeah, there's some cheat codes for that of the game. There's also a Ganajin cheat code where, like, you have shadow copies of Mega Man just going around and shooting and, you know.
Is that a Zero move?
No, it's Yun and Yang.
God damn it.
Oh, no, Zero's is called Son Genmu.
God damn.
Which is the same damn thing. You know me, I'm gonna have to mention Meta Knight's Metaquick, which is also the same thing.
Okay.
It's just a good mechanic, okay? Just have 3 copies of yourself at all times.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Double team.
You can just...
It's super effective.
You get to take on some fucking, like, multiplayer... You can just have 4-player multiplayer going at all times.
Exactly, and you can go to 5 guys and not feel like you're missing 4 other guys.
I mean, you're missing 1 other guy, because there's only 3 copies of you.
Damn it.
Also, if you're a girl, then there's no guys, period.
True. Okay, we gotta talk about Robo Blast Kart 2 then. Hurry up.
I mean, like, it doesn't matter.
It
does not fucking matter. Anyways, what do you mean Robo Blast 2 Kart? I thought it was Ring Racers.
It is Ring Racers. I just call it that because it's more fun.
Anyways, they pushed another update out, which actually specifically tackled something that I was complaining about at one point, because it was like, on easy mode in the previous patch, if the AI, like when you're doing Grand Prix mode, fucking the AI scales based on whether or not you're winning and how many A ranks you have. So if you get A ranks,
quadruple speed, invincibility.
well, not just that, but like the AI has higher difficulty as you gain A ranks and continue to win, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And this came to a really obnoxious head for me when I was trying to do easy on like the first cup, because I wound up scaling the AI so hard with all my A ranks that on the 4th race I was losing despite choosing easy. And so on this current patch that they released, they made it so that A ranks on easy don't affect the difficulty now, which is just like,
right.
Hell yeah, that's exactly what the issue I was having. The shit is too hard on easy, and now it's called relaxed.
Yeah, they changed the naming scheme for it, as well as just a lot of different tweaks to make the AI less of a jerk for every mode overall. Oh yeah, on the last lap of any race, they will actually take a break on you.
Yeah, because
they will not like pass you at the very last second.
They toned down how much the ring boost was giving. They toned it down. Yeah, they toned down how much the rubber banding was happening, and also made sure it wasn't going to occur on the last fucking leg before you finish the race.
Yeah, the whole system that just made the game so frustrating to deal with on like even just like the medium difficulties without getting to like gear 3 or 4. It's more manageable now. I'm not yelling at the game anymore, which is a good sign. Oh yeah, the trick system got fixed for my controller here.
Oh yeah, the tricks.
So like it's directional input plus A instead of just the D-pad.
Yeah, and also you can, because it basically lets you adjust your trajectory before you do the tricks. That was the issue I always had with the trick springs. It was if you were skewed the wrong way even slightly, you would just be fucked. It was obnoxious to deal with. And now that they've made it so you can adjust your like positioning before you do the trick, it's really nice.
Grand Prix on all difficulties but Masters. CPU Racer's difficulty decreases by an additional level when using a continue.
Yeah.
So if you need to continue a race because you got Mario Karted or something, it's going to make it a little easier in hindsight there.
Yeah.
A new cup's now unlocked by placing bronze or higher, even on easy. So yeah, the fact that I unlocked a cup in easy was part of the new patch there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of maps that were also patched, but some maps are still just absolute jerks, Springyard Zone.
Yeah, that's something I think people have been talking about a little bit, even since the game started.
That one is a problem because it's just like, you have to like go at the speed of just like spinning spike traps, as well as just like general dickish design with like the springs.
Yeah.
Like there's one at the end that is completely random and will knock you back. Like you can't even see it. It is at the bottom of a cliff, of a hill.
Yeah.
Not a cliff.
I think that's like something that's been consistent with every release of ring races, that a good chunk of the map, well, maybe not a good chunk, but enough of the maps have a little bit of fucked up design to them where it's just like, why would you put that there? And it's always an issue when you come up with any like community whenever you're like making anything like this. So like it's by default, a good chunk of your maps are always going to be like a little bit messed up. So it's understandable, but it's also just really annoying to have to play anyways.
You can't trigger the landmine dunk challenge with your own landmines anymore. Boo. Go online if you're looking to unlock stuff. I'm sure there's people in like grinding servers.
Achievement servers.
Classic. There are secondary unlock conditions for a lot of other characters, but I guess some were broken.
Yeah.
So, Honey, Ray, SPO, Silver, Blaze, and Bean have now been given a secondary unlock condition.
Well, I think what it means is that they didn't have any to start. They were given were given some.
Invincibility duration reduced to 7 to 17 seconds from 10 to 20. So that helps you when you're being rubber banded.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the new changes, I think the system overall and the game is a lot more accessible.
Yeah.
And they're going to keep improving it and probably patch out a lot of the map jank as things go on here. So
thank God.
Definitely check out Ring Racers if you haven't. It's a lot of fun.
Thank God for responsive devs.
You know, you also should check out, though?
What?
The new DLC for Vampire Survivor.
Oh yeah, Operation
with that Tantra's Operation Guns.
Operation Guns, and they do have a do have a Castlevania character in there, but it's not the one you're thinking of.
I don't think you're thinking of a proper Castlevania character. I think that man has a forehead.
Yeah. Well, it's a Contra hardcore character that exists as a secret boss and is a reference to Castlevania. It is Simondo Belmont.
Spoilers, by the way. But yes, there's your vampire hunter. Not really.
Not really.
You got a whole game about that, so let Contra be Contra here.
Yeah.
There's 2 stages, and most of the unlocks kind of chain off each other.
Yeah.
Like, the game itself, like, will give you Bill if you go to the coffin in the first stage, and then it kind of goes from there.
You start by unlocking Bill by playing the first stage and getting to the coffin, which isn't too hard if you're like me and overpowered as hell. Once you get Bill, it's basically, like you said, it's a chain of unlocks where you have to do something with Bill to unlock Lance, and then you have to do something with Lance to unlock the rest of the characters, and so on and so forth. So it's kind of like you're doing these constant runs to unlock the next thing.
And they have a good selection of characters
and
here.
Weapons.
The list of folks is as follows. So you have
a lot of the music that they're taking from Contra for Vampire Survivors is from Contra 4, which is fucking hell yeah, and Contra Hardcore on the Genesis.
Way Forward, also hardcore.
Yeah.
Which is that's definitely your definition for Contra here. That's the stuff that you like. They actually do bring back Brownie and Newt Plissken, which again, Rebirth, my favorite.
And Brownie was from Hardcore as well, I think.
Yeah. But the official character list here. We got Bill Reiser, Lance Bean, Ariana, Lucia, Brad Fang, Brownie, Sheena, Probotector, Stanley Ironside, Newt Plissken, Simondo Belmont, and Colonel Bahamut. That's your official character list.
Oh, yeah.
Each of the characters has, like, different, like, default attacks, just like your typical Vampire Survivor style. And there's no actual shooting. You just kind of go around and make your build, make your case.
I mean, like, you do get...
It's really quick action. It's really fun.
And you do get, like, the guns from Contra as weapons.
Yep, you get, like, the prototype guns and things like that. It's kind of cool.
Fucking...
Like, the spread shot is kind of useless until you get the prototype
They finally figured out how to nerf the spread shot. And they nerfed it by making the fire... they nerfed it by making the fire rate...
bad at first. You really gotta level it up.
Yeah.
There's also a second stage with the biker section, which we did not get to unlock because it's, like, near the end of a chain where you need, like, the CU laser.
Yeah.
And to level that up, you need to evolve it.
You need to evolve the CU laser, which you evolve using the Tira G-suit and a weapon upgrade suitcase thing.
It's just luck whether you actually get it on your run or not, so...
Good old Tira G-suit. The amount of times I've had to look for it and fucking failed pisses me off. But yeah, Operation Gun is fun. I have the other DLCs as well, but I haven't really touched them all. I have the Among Us DLC that I haven't touched.
Yeah, I was making comments on that. It's just like... there's a lot of venting going on here.
Yeah.
Look, Among Us is a fun game, but it's just been memed to death and back.
That is not the kind of game I would play.
Henry Stickman is forever.
Thank you for listening to this episode. We are hosted on mask31.dev/the-Reddmasq-podcast. You can also find us on Pocket Casts and wherever great podcasts are found.